evening and welcome to the WA Screen Awards for 2013. We're coming to you from the Astor Theatre in Mount Lawley. The WASs, as they're affectionately known, celebrate excellence in screen culture and tonight celebrate their own birthday as they turn 25. There was no awards ceremony last year, but the WA screen industry has more than made up for that this year with a record number of 800 entries, resulting in 104 nominations over 66 film projects. It promises to be a wonderful night, so join me now for the 2013 WA Screen Awards.
It's been just under 30 months since the WASs were last staged. And so we at FTI are very excited to be able to present this event to and for the West Australian screen sector once again.
I'm joined now with Peter Rowe, Chair of the Screen West Board. Welcome, Peter.
Thanks, Emily.
Tell me, Peter, what's unique about making films in WA?
There's enormous challenges in the tyranny of distance, but we have such wonderful talent here. It draws people back again and again and again to make fantastic screen output for the industry here. Obviously want to encourage as many new productions in Western Australia and to grow the industry so that we have a really solid framework going forward, so we have people who are staying in Western Australia to make fantastic screen productions as opposed to leaving WA. And we've been very fortunate that we've had some fantastic productions this year. We produced about, I think, $60 million in terms of production dollars this year, which is just a fantastic outcome for WA. I think everyone's a worthy candidate and they'll all be winners anyway, and the industry in WA will be a huge winner.
Welcome back. We're at the WASs. Do you know it? We're at the WASs, everyone.
I'm joined now with Jenny Crabb, who's nominated for Best Student Film. Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you. Hi.
Tell us a little bit about Smitten.
Well, it's a film made in 2011 when I was a master's student at the Screen Academy, and it's a story of obsession, and there's a little bit of a twist at the end, as all good short student films have to have.
I haven't prepared anything, so should I win, I think that's when the nerves kick in, because I realise I haven't made a list of anyone I'm supposed to thank, so hopefully I'll remember everyone. But there's a really good list of guys that I'm happy to be nominated against, so maybe one of them will have to deal with it.
It's a really successful project with all the nominations that it's received. Why do you think it's so successful?
I think it's original and it hasn't really been done in the way it's done before, and it's pretty edgy. We like to take it places that most people are a little bit scared, probably ashamed out of sheer good taste to not take it to those areas. So I think, I just think we do things that no one's seen for a long time or ever. That's maybe all it takes. It's original.
I'd like to thank everyone involved in this project. It was amazing. Jin and Yili, also known as Petrus Taurus, couldn't have done it without him. He just added a sense of authenticity that I, as a sort of short white ranger, couldn't really bring.
How do you go about scoring a piece for screen?
It's basically informed by the picture, so the director and I will have a discussion called a spotting session. We'll go through what they're after and we'll have a discussion about each cue, and then I'll go and do my job and they tell me how much of it they like and how much they hate. My first job was actually with an FTI short film. Phil Jenkane got me that, so that was wonderful. And then actually a WASA was what got me into TV. I won a WASA in 2004 and that got me noticed by a TV company, and so once you're in the circle of TV, it all sort of comes from there. So I'm actually very grateful to the WASs for getting me a start.
To the white man, he is an outlaw. To the Bunuba, he is Jalamuro, a man of mystical powers, a protector, a savior, a freedom fighter. His name is JANDAMARRA.
JANDAMARRA'S War is about a freedom-fighting Aboriginal person up north called JANDAMARRA in the sort of turn of the 20th century, and sort of his fight against his lands being taken. And I work with a composer called Petrus Taurus, who's a sort of from Broome, and his family also directed and produced the film. And it was just wonderful. A sort of 58-minute odd documentary, really great to work on.
What goes into making an award-winning game?
What goes into making an award-winning game? having a great idea to start with, having a great story, having graphics that will blow you away, having a pumping soundtrack, but mostly finding the fun. It's the biggest thing.
Well, I always wanted to make games that inspired me and sort of had a bit more interest in the story and the characters and things. So I decided I'd make my own games in my free time, and so that's kind of how I started out, by making this game in my free time, just to try to get that kind of character and feel to the game I wanted. And so Steph came along and decided to develop the game for real. And so that's how Freedom Pool came about.
Perth is pretty small. We all do it from home, but the other thing too is that we're all constantly in contact virtually as well. So we use online collaborative space. We're always there.
So I'm joined now with Henry and Aaron, who are the creators of Henry and Aaron, 7 Steps to Superstardom. Tell me, guys, why has it been so successful?
It's probably about the superstardom. It's pretty much,
I mean, it's kind of in the title, love. I mean, it's about 7 steps to being super famous, and I think that's kind of. I don't actually know if it has been really successful, to tell you the truth. No, it hasn't.
How does this make us household names?
You thick or just retarded? Aaron, everyone does it, don't they? Big movie stars, they're all doing it. They're all adopting foreign orphans. Madonna, Brangelina, others.
We can provide them a good home.
Yep, sure you can. Anyway, come on, scram. Dr. Danny's got a pap smear.
What's unique about making a web series?
It's shorter, so much shorter than making a TV show. That's, less days, less money, don't have to fork out money for crew. It's brilliant.
I just want to say a huge thank you to all the wonderful mentors that I've had during my studies and after my studies, and they still continue to be wonderful mentors for me now, even after all that's done and gone.
Congratulations, Alexander Fisher for The Lake, the winner of the Burswood Honda's Best Script Short Form.
What goes into making an award-winning script?
Oh, a lot of hard work, a lot of negotiation, funnily enough. A lot of boardroom-style meetings where you sit around and sort of plot everything out, and it all starts with a pitch. We all got up and we pitched our ideas to our classmates, and thankfully mine was picked, and then we were all put together, and then we made it happen, really,
What you wrote on paper, did it translate on screen the way that you thought it would?
Sort of. We found that when the edit came together, because I directed it also, the executive producers came in and we shaped it into a version that could work more visually, I suppose. But it does honour the script. Yeah. There was one of the things that I wrote into my script. So the landscape is fantastic for us as filmmakers.
So the next one is in interactive narrative. And it is a great project called Sound Chamber by Yvette Coyne.
I'm joined now with Yvette and Amanda, who have just won the WASA for Best Interactive Narrative. That sounds really interesting, guys. Tell me about the award.
It's an Outstanding Achievement Award for the Sound Chamber, which we produced. Yvette can tell you more about the actual project.
Okay, so the Sound Chamber is basically it's a sound art installation. It's fully interactive where people upload sounds. You enter the sound chamber. It's a big black 7-metre dome, and as people move around they mash up sounds and create new sounds, and that is then uploaded onto YouTube and shared via YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. So it's all kind of does a full circle. You get a new piece of video art and sound art.
It's a integrated social media integrated project, and there's also it has a documentary attached to it. So it's a transmedia project. It's a full all-media project. So it's actually one of the first in Australia, and it was supported by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation and Screen West and DCA.
I'm delighted to announce that this year's recipient for the outstanding contribution is Sue Taylor.
My crowning achievement, I suppose, was I did a feature film called The Tree, which closed the Cannes Film Festival. And that kind of worked on so many different levels for me, in terms of it was a very complex project to pull together over 7 years.
Look, they're in the tree. I go up there every day. Simone! Simone, it's dangerous. Come down.
Working in France and Australia, and then, trying to finance it in the middle of the GFC was really hard, and trying to keep it all together. And then finally, when we did get it screening at Cannes and having a standing ovation, it kind of made it all worthwhile, I suppose. So in that sense, it was probably my biggest achievement. I think it's always really, really tough, just because the industry has far more people wanting to get into it than actually there's opportunities available. So it's always very, very competitive, and that hasn't changed. But the advantage I think young people have now is that they can, they have access to cameras, they have access to editing facilities that are on their computer, they're on their mobile phone. So really there is nothing to stop them having a go at making stuff. They don't need a lot of money or resources to do it in the way that you used to have. And potentially, you can find a global audience out there. You don't have to have traditional broadcasters and traditional, theatrical distribution and exhibition.
You got anything you might be embarrassed about?
I don't think so. You've got to be committed in your own heart and your own instincts, and by and large, those instincts will probably be right, and certainly you have to trust them. So I don't think anybody else can tell you what to do.
Don't go away. Join me after the break for more from the WA Screen Awards here at the Astor Cinema in Mount Lawley.